We've come a long way since gaming's inception. What used to be an entire character wouldn't pass for a drop of dew in a modern game. As technology has advanced, so too have the standards for graphics. Under the right conditions, it can be legitimately tough to discern a screenshot from an actual photo. Long gone are the days of being content to control a square facing off against the terrible Duckman. Nowadays, I don't even play a game unless I can tell exactly how cold my character is. As shallow as it may be to judge a game solely by its graphics, it's innately exciting to see just how far a game's visuals can be pushed, especially considering where we were not too long ago. Let's compare that to what we can play now and what we have to look forward to. These are some of the best graphical showcases in all of gaming. Visuals aren't the most important aspect of a game, but they are the most immediate. A game that really pushes the envelope with cutting-edge technology and stellar art immediately grabs your attention. As a result, developers have prioritized jaw-dropping visuals. A game's graphics help ground you in that world and make it a place you really want to explore and interact with. Particularly in narrative-heavy games, they can lower the suspension of disbelief, making it easier to get sucked into that world. If you're looking for an example, look no further than the wildly impressive new animated short by Quixel, Rebirth. Running in real time thanks to Unreal Engine 4, it's getting increasingly difficult to discern the difference between these environments and real life. The texture detail, gorgeous lighting, and incredible materials work make every frame a visual spectacle. Apparently, it's not even running on anything crazy. It's a standard gaming PC rocking a GTX 1080. A powerful card to be sure, but not the sort of nuclear-powered monster you'd expect to be pushing visuals like this. The film is clearly more of a showcase for stunning art and tech than it is a narrative piece, but the moody lighting and damp, desolate landscapes give off an impressive sense of foreboding, establishing a compelling tone with visuals alone. It's one thing to get environments looking convincingly realistic, it's another thing entirely to get a character that doesn't look like a horrible uncanny valley nightmare. Luckily, the tech is finally there for some surprisingly convincing performances. Faces, you won't be missed. Let's cleanse our palate with some not that, literally anything else. God, get it off the screen. Whether or not you know his name, you're almost certainly familiar with Andy Serkis's work. He's long been the premier motion capture artist, having brought characters like The Lord of the Rings' Smeagol, Planet of the Apes' Caesar, and King Kong's King Kong to life. They're all great performances, but those eyes, man, they can be, haunting.
And tomorrow creeps in this petty pace. From day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out. Out!
Here's someone who's dead set on taking polygons and making them feel real. Between the industry-leading materials work, unreasonably detailed textures, and naturalistic lighting, each frame could pass for a photograph. Sure, we've seen visuals like this in CG films, but this is all real time. The difference is that real-time footage has to be rendered between 30 to 60 times per second depending on the frame rate. Films have the luxury of taking just as long as they want to render out a single frame. The remake of The Jungle Book that came out recently spent around 80 hours rendering each frame. The only way to make that kind of thing viable is to have a render farm, which is a huge collection of beefy PCs, each working at the same time on rendering out frames. Otherwise, it would take a single computer around 1,500 years to render all of the new Jungle Book movie, which is kinda crazy. animation's intense.
Yeah.
Shifting gears to something playable for a second, we have the poster child for graphical fidelity, Minecraft. Joking aside, its limitless potential and timeless gameplay have carried it to unprecedented success in spite of its charming but incredibly basic presentation. With a following as big as Minecraft's, it's no surprise that modders have been hard at work bringing its visuals into the limelight, and the results could be ridiculously impressive. Take this mod pack for example, the Ultimate Immersion Project Texture Pack 2K. No exaggeration, this looks like a completely different game. Hell, this looks like a completely different console generation. The exquisite lighting, nuanced materials, and soft, natural art direction give the game a wildly different feel. If it weren't for the telltale cubes, I'd never have guessed that this was Minecraft. It's so serene. Looking for something a bit more realistic? Check this out. Based on the image of actress Bing Jiang and powered by Unreal Engine, this real-time footage is incredibly technically advanced.
Real-time graphics and an unprecedented level of detail in my eyes, skin, and hair. Cool, right? But
Now, that being said, holy shit is it terrifying. It's just close enough to reality to put it smack dab in the worst part of the uncanny valley. Quick refresher on what that means. When something looks and moves in a way that's almost convincingly human, it will look extremely unnerving. It's why things like even the most advanced animatronics usually look more creepy than they do convincing. I don't mean to be too harsh on Siren, again, it's technically more than sound, but the end result is just far away enough from being human to be kind of unsettling. Okay, this I find a lot more convincing. The main reason? She's barely moving. Natural human movement and emotion are the hardest things to get right when it comes to photorealism. We're instinctually wired to know when that kind of thing is off, even if only by nanometers. Here, just standing mostly still and scowling, the absurd level of detail and excellent modeling take center stage. Everything from her hair to the cloth of her dress are immaculately detailed. The same was true of Siren, but without the spooky movement serving as a distraction, it's easier to appreciate this piece's strengths. Just at a glance, could you tell her apart from the real thing? If so, what tipped you off? For me, it's gotta be the eyes. They're the first things that humans look at and one of the most important ways that we communicate emotion. There's just too much there to convincingly replicate most of the time. This one's a bit different, but no less impressive. It isn't really a game per se, it's actually made by a real estate company so potential buyers can tour their prospective new home from the comfort of their current one. It can't be cheap, but the results speak for themselves. Just look at that bed. It all looks so good, but that bed in particular, it speaks to me. What's more, you can actually tour the house in VR, inspect every molecule with unrivaled immersion. I'm sold. I've decided to live inside this house, inside of my hard drive. I'm going to quarantine in style. Finally, we come to this. The continuous damage material point method is as impressive as it is unreasonably long. Also, that's not supposed to sound like a dick thing, but it does, and I'm not rewriting it, so let's move on. The CDMPM simulates every individual molecule of an object to determine exactly how it breaks apart. Gravity, elasticity, firmness, tear, and more are all accounted for. If that sounds taxing, it's because it is. There's no way that we can run this kind of thing in real time. Yet. Give it another few years, and we could be playing games that look like nothing you've ever seen. Wait, have I talked about this before? The answer is yes, and you can check out that video right over here for all different kinds of physics-based goodness. We find ourselves at the end of another video, but fret not. That's right, stop fretting over there. We'll be back with more content real soon. If you want to have a say in what that kind of content might be, drop a comment below and tell us what you want to hear about. Subscribing, ringing the bell, liking, all that other kind of, shilly stuff to ask people to do, helps us out a whole bunch and lets us know that we're making the kind of videos that you want to see. Thanks again for watching. Till next time, I'm Joey Nasser, this is The Cutting Edge, and I'll catch you later.